We're not ready for the future. We're not. I know that seems kind of nebulous, but it's true. It's coming faster than we're even aware of, and we're not ready for it. In 1965, a man by the name of Gordon Moore co-founded IBM, published a paper. Microprocessors were doubling in speed and size every year because they were able to fit a certain amount of transistors onto these tiny little chips that you put into computers. Now what that meant was that there was an exponential increase in computing technology every year. Gordon Moore's ideas essentially formed our understanding of how technological progression works. The problem is, recently we've actually been able to use techniques to outpace Moore's law. Now that should terrify you, because it means that the future is coming even faster than exponential, and we're not ready. And what do I mean by that? This year, Google is poised to release what is known as the Glass. Now, Google's Glass is the first foray into a mass production of an augmented reality technology. Now, a lot of you are probably confused as to what augmented reality even is. Now, you used to have all of these paradigms of computing, right? Where you have a home computer, a cell phone, your television, whatever. Now, augmented reality is a new way to use computers. Essentially what it is this concept that we can actually enhance the real world with technology. You can blend the digital and physical worlds. A lot of design for this augmented reality so far is entirely up in the air because no one's done it yet. But the idea that they have so far is that they want to enhance our lives with a clever use of technology. Now, you say, why should we worry? Why should we even care? Technology, you can forget about it. The problem is, how many of you don't have cell phones? The thing is, technological adoption has changed our understanding of how we use computers to the point that everything affects everyone now. It's literally one of the biggest parts of your life and you're probably not even aware of it. There are all of these companies, say Apple, Samsung, Microsoft, all of these, who are actively developing all of these technologies that you are using on a daily basis, and they're the ones who define how you use it. That's what gets me. The thing is, some people don't even realize or they take it for granted that sometimes even your social interaction is based on the way that you use this technology. We're even doing it tonight. You're being asked to answer a Twitter question and poll it and run it through, and all of the people here will see it. I'm just a little hesitant about some of this sometimes. I don't know. I think there was a writer by the name of George Orwell who would probably be rolling in his grave if he knew about Foursquare right now. But still, I don't know, 140 characters at a time. Can you process society where the only way that you can interact with another person is through Facebook? See, I don't know. I see the future progressing through this weird way that there are people behind these companies that basically dictate what little things you have in your pocket, what little things that you use, all of these ways that you interact with yourself and with others. But the problem is, we're outpacing the old paradigms of technology, and now we have things like augmented reality. And this blending of the physical and digital is going to revolutionize the way that we understand how we all work. I'll give you an idea here. Basically, when you use technology, there is a use case that is defined with what the technology is, what you're doing with it, and what the end result is supposed to be. One particular use case would be, at your home, you have a television, you have your computer, you have a phone, whatever. A use case would be calling someone, watching the TV. But another new layer here that you can introduce with augmented reality is, say, let's have one computer that controls all of this based on an implant inside of my body that tracks me around the rooms. Suddenly, you have Music following you in the rooms, that's a seamless transition. Suddenly you have it correcting automatically for your body temperature. Suddenly you have all of these new ways that you can interact with all of these technologies that we already have. But why aren't we using it? I'll give you another example here. Imagine the year is 2030. We've somehow developed this technology to the point that we now have cybernetic body parts. A little bit ridiculous, but it's very, very true. When you think about this, when you start to integrate technology into your physical person, you've suddenly lost that boundary of what it once meant to be only behind a computer screen. Only this little thing that you could look at and put in your pocket or throw across the room. Suddenly it is you. The only thing that I have a problem with here is that the way that I see things going is that we're going to leave ourselves in this trap where Microsoft has the Infinity, the Apple the Nokia leg, all of these things that you're going to start having to worry about, all of these brands building a person, all of these brands running the way that your mind works in a very literal way. That's where people like Amal Grafstra come in. He's actually implanted RFID chips inside of his hands here. Now what that allows him to do is create his own unique use case. He's actually programmed these so that if he slides it across a sensor in front of his door, it unlocks it in the same way that a key card would. The really cool part about this is that you no longer have to worry about the old use case of fumbling around for a key card, holding it up, getting inside your thing. It's a seamless experience, and that's the point. We're not ready for these sort of things yet because no one's thought about them. We've only thought about the old way, that there is a technology, you have to use it, and it's separate from you. That's the craziest part, is that it's still separate from you. Because I hope that this isn't too terrifying, but we've already developed the technology to interface with your brains directly. Researchers out at, I want to say, Brown University have been working on this program called the BrainGate Project, which is where they actually take a small array of electrodes that correspond to the brainwave patterns that they've recognized, and they implant it under the skull. Now what this has allowed people to do is actually interface with the mind directly, so that you can control things as if you were thinking of them flawlessly, no bounds. Now, this seems a little strange, but so far it's been really, really helpful for a lot of people. The first applications that they have of this are that they're actually helping paraplegics and quadriplegics gain the ability to interact with the world in ways that they would have never thought possible. This video here actually shows you one woman who is using one of these to control this prosthesis with literally the power of her mind manipulating the objects. The best part about this video is that it's from 2011. You can only imagine how far we've come since then. The thing is, we've started to enhance our experience of what it means to be a human and what it means to use technology, because the two are starting to become synonymous. As it stands, there is a current school of thought known as transhumanism. Now basically, this is the idea that you can actually enhance and improve your life beyond what it means to be human with the proper application of technology. Now that seems a little scary, and it is, but the thing is, it doesn't have to be. There's a lot of people out there that want to use this in a way that will be beneficial and actually be more natural, to understand what it meant to be as you were, but also what you could be. In 2011, in February, a man by the name of Dmitry Itskov, a Russian entrepreneur, actually founded this nonprofit known as the 2045 Initiative. And he's actually funneled a lot of money into this, where he's actually got this roadmap of technologies that are going to be developed, smart minds working on these things, with a clear, defined path through 2015 to 45, where we start to, I guess, enact this transhumanist school of thought. By 2020, he wants us to be able to control entire new bodies using only the powers of our mind. How many of you have seen Avatar? It's essentially that. By 2025, he wants to have basically a human brain implanted into one of these avatars so that you can literally have a new body. By 2030 to 2035 there, he wants it to be that you can actually have an artificial brain in which your consciousness is uploaded. Now what that means is you can actually take yourself into a brand new body. That's immortality. That's real. The thing is, it seems like a whole bunch of science fiction, right? But these people are actually funding the money into this. People are working on this. People have been, and people will. The problem is, we're not ready, because it's already here. I don't have a question for you, because I just want you to know. You're not ready. Thank you.